Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Right, a lot of you seemed to really like that last video with the PS2 games, didn't you? Right, I actually completely forgot to split it into two parts. So I'm doing the same thing here, it's just going to make it the one video, fuck it. I went on Twitter and asked, I think I'll do one more, what do you guys want to see, and over half of the votes were for the PS3. So I'll probably do a video like this for most consoles as time goes on. I kind of don't want to do them like a day after each other. Who knows, I might do that, I don't know, but whatever. Here are my top 20 PlayStation 3 games. Now this was honestly really hard to try and like deduce, because not only did I try to pick out like what my absolute favourite games on the console are, but I tried to like keep it exclusive to the experience with that console. You know, like in the PS2 video, for example, Okami was on the list, but I played Okami on the Wii. And like a lot of these games I originally did play on the PS3, but maybe I played like a better version on PS4 or maybe PC, you know, remastered editions or what have you. Either way, I think this is it. This is honestly, I'm so sure, more so than the PS2 episode, I'm going to look at this list and be like, did I really order it like this? But sod it. Let's go. So, number 20. Now, this is a game that I think maybe has, definitely at the time it came out, it had quite a few detractors, and as times went on, it's probably got even more, but I don't give a fuck. This is one of the games that I enjoyed immensely. Heavy Rain. David Cage is a developer who I do really like. I really liked the Nomad Soul. I really liked, you know, Fahrenheit/Indigo Prophecy. I really liked this one. Beyond Two Souls was so... Beyond Two Souls is the game that all the detractors think Heavy Rain is, because it's just this sort of like contrived QTE-driven movie sort of thing, whereas this honestly feels more like a classic adventure game. Sure, it is. There's a lot of cutscenes and there's a lot of QTEs, but there's like a bit more to it than that, as far as I'm concerned. And that experience was made into something that I really fucking like. You know, I think this may be David Cage's like best game. You know, and yeah, I feel like people are way too harsh on it. You know, it's. Be as harsh as you want on Beyond Two Souls, and to be honest, that Detroit game that's coming out for PS4, I don't even want to play that, because you could just see all the like things that they're going to do, like the robot lassie. She's going to have that moment like in every fucking anime ever, where she's like, she'll cry somehow. I don't know. I don't want it. I'm not looking forward to that. But I like this. So, yeah. Heavy Rain, number 20. Now, number 19... Nobody really talks about this game anymore, and I really think it's massively underrated. Yeah, this is Binary Domain. This was the Yakuza team's like jab at doing something that wasn't Yakuza, basically. They tried to make a sort of Western style shooting game, you know, and whenever Japan tries to do one of those, things are sort of mixed, sadly. But what we got here was honestly like really interesting. This actually does the whole like humanity mixed in with robots plotline and that I was just ripping into in a really interesting way. None of the robots cry, by the way, I'll just say that much. Or do they? But it's in a sort of like interesting context. I don't know, but yeah, the storyline in this I think is pretty cool, really. I don't know how unoriginal it is. I'm not well up on robot style you know, storylines and shit, I don't know, but from what I played, I really enjoyed it, and it's a really good shooting game on top of that, you know. Looks beautiful, you know, obviously it's done with the Yakuza engine and stuff, and yeah, I feel like more people should play this, okay? It's actually on Steam right now. It's been on Steam for a while. I've never played the Steam version. I do want to, like, give it another playthrough on there. I don't know how good the PC version actually is, but it's there as an option should you want it. So, yeah, Binary Domain, I really like this game. More people should play it. Okay. And next we have... Infamous. Now, Infamous was basically just Sucker Punch's franchise on the PS3. It pretty much is that simple, you know. All of the trio that was, you know, Sucker Punch, Insomniac, and Naughty Dog all decided to go with more realistic, more human franchises on the PS3, much to sort of classic platformer fans' dismay. But you know what? For the most part, they made really fucking good games out of it, you know? And it was no exception with Sucker Punch and Infamous. Infamous 2 was also, like, really good. But I have slightly better memories of playing this one, you know? I've not got really too much to say about it. I just felt like it deserved a place on the list. It's a really good sort of open world superhero game, you know? I never played like the PS4 games. I wasn't really fussed about going to those, but yeah, this and Infamous 2, really, really good. Okay, and next we have, what did I pick now? Okay. Catherine for the PS3. I remember when this came out, this was like supposed to be Atlus's dipping their toe into the PS3 at that point. Like, the engine that this was running on was eventually supposed to power Persona 5, but partway through development they were like, no, fuck it, let's make a slightly different engine, delay the game about 3 fucking years, and yeah, then we eventually got Persona 5 that way. But yeah, this is like, as I heard before, and I think it's a wonderful description, this is a dating simulator / puzzle game, you know? It's so bizarre, pretty much. And so, yeah, look at this cover, you know? You get pretty much what you see here, you know? But I remember really loving the story. I remember being infuriated at some of the levels and the puzzles you got to do in this game, but they were so rewarding when you actually did it. And yeah, it's a crazy, crazy game, and I think it was definitely one of my like more awesome experiences on the console, because I'm having like a lot less to say about these earlier picks. Actually, I don't know why, but hopefully that'll change as we go on. This next one, actually, number 16. Okay, you early PS3 adopters might recognize this one. This is Folklore. Who remembers this fucking game? Because this fucking game was excellent, okay? Very, very early PS3, sorry. Doesn't have trophy support, all that jazz. And it's basically just a sort of murder mystery wrapped in a sort of a magical world sort of thing. It's such a bizarre concept, but it has like this really, really brilliant story and wonderful worlds. The monster design and the like world design that you get in this game is astounding. You know, it really is one of a kind. You know, well, I say one of a kind, but it's very. Looking at it, it looks. I don't even know. It's like. You know what? I haven't actually played some of these games in a long time, to be fair. Maybe that's what's like cutting me out here. I just remember like the really good memories, and that's why I popped them on the pile here, pretty much, you know. Who knows, if I went back to this, maybe I wouldn't like it as much, but I do just remember all the amazing shit, I really do. So, I don't know how much this goes for now, but I would definitely recommend anybody check it out, and I wonder if we could get like some sort of re-release of this, because it really feels like it's due, you know. It's such a... Again, it was so early on the PS3, and so not enough people have played it, okay? I'll say that again. So, that's number 16. Okay, number 15, I have here Hatsune Miku, Project Diva F2. Pretty much the Hatsune Miku games in general on the PS3. You know, a while ago, I would actually talk about the F games, you know, the Project Diva F and Project Diva F2, were actually kind of like my some of my lesser favourite games in the franchise, you know? And recently I've been like looking back, I think it was because I played a bunch of like Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone on my PS4, and I was playing through a bunch of the songs that originally came from these two games, and I was just like, you know, the songs here actually are really good. Why didn't I appreciate this as much? You know, it was, I don't know, it was a weird thing. And I remember actually, I did play through them like about a year ago. I was trying to like refresh myself on like, okay, what song did this come from and stuff. So it is the same sort of like gameplay system that you generally get from Hatsune Miku. You know, you just like tap the buttons and stuff. There's a new like star mechanic that was supposed to simulate rubbing the Vita's touchscreen, and the PS3 you just jiggle the right analog stick. But yeah, it really is one of the better games in the series, probably. This one probably more than the first F game. I don't know, but you pretty much just put them in together, pretty much. So yeah, Project Diva F, good shit, good shit. And number 14 is, right, this is a game that I did play relatively recently and properly fell in love with, and some of you will probably be familiar with this as well. Nier, okay? What's to say about it? Okay, obviously Nier Automata came out and everybody fucking loved it, which is so bizarre to me because when this game came out, this was such a divisive game, you know? People like either absolutely loved it and everything that it had going for it, or fucking hated it because they couldn't get past that stupid fucking fishing section right near the beginning of the game, which made me stop playing the game years ago when it first came out. But when you figure out how to actually beat that stupid fucking fishing section, seriously, it's utter bullshit. You get a game that's nowhere near as technically sound as Nier Automata, you know, because Platinum Games made that game. Obviously, it's going to be like this hack and slash, sharp controlling spectacle of a game. Whereas this is more like the combat's a bit more clunky, but the bizarreness that is in Nier Automata is in this game. In fact, I would almost say that it's like better in this game, you know, like the really weird stuff sticks out to me a lot more in this one than it did in Nier Automata. It's pretty much all the praise you could give to Nier Automata, minus its like well executed gameplay, pretty much could be applied to this one. And apparently it's kind of expensive now. I didn't realise that, but that's really unfortunate because, you know, with hopefully with the success of Nier Automata, they decide to like re-release this on Steam or something. But again, I don't know, because it has that stupid fucking fishing minigame. Yeah, it's whatever. It's Nier. Nier's cool. Nier's cool. Right. Okay, next up. Now, we were talking about level 5 in the PS2 video. I was talking about how they had like just a wonderful run on the PS2. PS3, not so much, because one of their big RPGs on there was White Knight Chronicles, and I'm pretty sure there's a YouTube video where I said I liked White Knight Chronicles. Maybe it was in a collection update or something. I don't like White Knight Chronicles. I was just playing through it and thought I was liking it at the time, but honestly, White Knight Chronicles is shite. But level 5 did bounce back with this, Ninokuni, Wrath of the White Witch, and the sequel's coming out next year. Cannot fucking wait. And yeah, this is pretty much what you'd want from a level 5 RPG. Well, actually, I say that, but you know, it's a lot more like Pokemon, honestly, which may be one of the reasons why I didn't like enjoy it as much. But the sort of charm that you get in the other games, that's definitely here. It's just a really sound RPG in its own right. It's got the animations by Studio Ghibli, which is always nice to look at. And yeah, it's again, got nothing really to say about it. It's one of those games that almost like speaks for itself, if I'm honest. Oh god, I'm just looking at the screenshots actually of like the world map. It's got one of the best world world maps ever. I like the music in it, and that is just so brilliant. I really cannot wait to play the sequel to this. It's going to be so good. So yeah, Ninokuni, Wrath of the White Witch. That was number 13. Okay, so number 12. Okay, now we were talking about binary domain there, and how whenever Japan likes to make a sort of like a Western-focused shooting game, it tends not to turn out that well. Well, that was not the case with the. Well, no. Well, I say that's not the case. You know, binary domain obviously was good. I liked it, but even more so with this one right here, Vanquish. Holy shit, I love Vanquish, and I'm surprised that the opinion in this game is actually relatively divisive. You know, like at least among like Platinum Game enthusiasts and stuff. I don't feel that at all. This is like a 5-hour game. It's quite short, yeah, to be fair, but no bit of that 5 hours is like not spent just like glued to the TV, like looking all over shooting shit, and it's just like it keeps you on the edge constantly. And I think that's really a wonderful thing about Platinum Games. You know, they really do nail that sort of feeling of adrenaline pumping action, constantly doing shit, everything's active. I don't know, it's a very, very active game, you know? And I absolutely love it for it. Another thing probably at the time nobody dug it that much was that it was only a one-player game, where stuff like that's probably more focused for multiplayer, you know, because it was effectively Gears of War with a power slide mechanic and a time slowing down mechanic from Bayonetta. And it controlled wonderfully. As far as I'm concerned, it didn't need its multiplayer. Yeah, it's just Vanquish, man. Why didn't a lot of people like this? It got a PC re-release just shortly after Bayonetta in 2017. I played it again, ran at a much better frame rate. Definitely the best version of the game, but this is where I experienced it initially, so yeah. One of the golden days of Platinum games, as far as I'm concerned, you know? Okay, 11. Now, this game, oh shit, see this fucking game. Right. This really should be a tie, actually. This is one of these things where it's like the series as a whole is on here, but Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing Transformed. Now, the first game holds a massive special place in my heart. Biggest Sega fanboy in the world, and it's got Ryo Hazuki in it. That was a big turning point, you know, but it's also got like all these other wonderful Sega characters in it, like the Bonanza Brothers. You've got Akira Yuki along with Jackie Bryan in the Ferrari from Outrun. It's, okay, I'll tone down the fanboy, okay? But this sequel is like a million times better. It's unbelievable, you know? They took out Ryo Hazuki and made him DLC for the PC version only. Don't ask me. But everything else, you know, like the controls are a lot better. You've obviously got the Mario Kart 7 inspired land, sea, air sort of thing, which apparently Sumo Digital didn't rip off Nintendo. They insist they came up with it themselves, but obviously it's very hard to believe that. But what can you do, you know? But the game came out anyway and was phenomenal. Okay, you can also play both games on the PC. I highly recommend them. They're so much fun to play, like online in the sort of mission modes and stuff. And of course, the unbelievable Sega fan service. Seriously, this was just like Smash Brothers for a Sega fan. It really fucking was. It was unbelievable. And I'm going to stop this right here because I could gush way too much. So that is the first 10 of my top 20 PlayStation 3 games. So now we're into the top 10. And I want to reiterate again that, see, like, the order of these games might not be as, I don't know, it's like, it's always going to change, it's always subject to change, but at this moment, goddammit, this is how I feel this list should be numbered. And number 10 is like something that, once again, is probably like for a series as a whole, and is a series that I bring up a lot, but I've always wanted to make a proper video on, but never have. The Atelier games. This is Atelier Aisha. What's the subtitle? The Alchemist of Dusk. The PS3 has 6 of these, okay? The PS4 is currently sitting on 2 with a third one on its way, I believe. It's an annualized series, obviously. But one that I always just have to, like, at least once a year sort of play through, okay? And I've dabbled in the 6 on the PS3. Not all of them were, like, amazing to me. To be fair, all of them I didn't even beat because they're sort of like slice-of-life games like Harvest Moon. And even though they do technically have a story you can beat, I always get to a point in them where I'm like, I don't fancy playing this anymore, you know? The only one I did beat was this one. This was the first in the second trilogy. This was the 4th one to be released, and I just think it's the best one, you know? I love the music more, I love the characters more, the whole system of doing your alchemy and fulfilling certain tasks was the easiest in my opinion, so yeah, this was my favourite one. There's not much else to say about it regardless of that. But I do urge anybody who hasn't tried these games to give them a go. This is a good place to start because, like I said, this was the first in a second trilogy. The trilogy's, that's probably one of the weaker points of this franchise. You kind of have to do a little bit of research to know where to start and stuff. Not that the story's that deep anyway. Okay, my recommendation is just start with this one, because this one's my favourite. So, yeah, Atelier Aisha, number 10. And number 9, oof, okay, a bit more of a predictable choice right here. Sly IV! Okay, I gotta be honest, when I was thinking about best PlayStation 3 games, I decided not to include like HD collections because that is mega cheating, okay? But one game I really wanted to put in here was the Sly trilogy for the PS3. I think I like that package more so than this game, but again, it's cheating, so Sly IV does get to go here. Even though it's not actually Sly IV, it's Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. Okay. It's actually quite a miracle that this game even came into existence. Not made by Sucker Punch, it was made by Sanzaru Games, who are relatively proven, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to making games. And they just did a really good job bringing the franchise back for one last round, you know? As is the case with the other two major franchises on the platforming franchise on the PS2, Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, you know, there was always this question of, is there going to be a fourth one? Well, not really in the case of Ratchet, but definitely in the case of Jak and Sly. And this one just comes out and is really, really, really good, you know? It's surprisingly good. Very similar to the previous games, but mind you, most people who are fucking anticipating this shit, that's all they fucking want. But, yeah, it's just so... I just realised, by the way, I'm going to have to point this out because people will point it out for me. Yes, I know Jak and Daxter technically got a fourth fucking game, but who the fuck cares? Anyway, yeah. Sly Cooper. I like Sly Cooper, and this one was brilliant. I did love the idea of like playing as Sly's like ancestors who were referenced in previous games and all that because he's from a long line of thieves. I thought that was like utter genius, you know. Just yeah, Sly IV. Okay, number 8. What did I put for number 8? Ah, of course. Number 8 goes to. I probably have like a. Not too much to say about this one, but it goes to Uncharted 2. Yeah, it's Uncharted 2. I'm gonna say, I think the Uncharted series was like the best thing Naughty Dog's ever done, and being a big Jak and Daxter fan, that's been a bit hard for me to admit. But as time's going on, I'm just like, nah, Uncharted is just really good. The trilogy in the PS3 is excellent. Uncharted 4 is excellent, and Golden Abyss for the PS Vita is excellent. I'm surprised that game hasn't like been ported over to PS4. Actually, was it ported over to PS4? I honestly couldn't tell you, but that's a really good one, okay, honestly. But this one is the best one, okay? I think that's kind of a universal exception at this point. Although maybe 4's now my favourite. I don't know, but at least in the PS3, Uncharted 2 is, okay? Naughty Dog, you done good. You done good. It's alright that you didn't bring back Jak and Daxter. You were the odd ones out there because you gave us Uncharted, and Uncharted's cool. Uncharted's cool. Okay. Right, this is the one... okay. This is one of the ones where I'm like, yeah, maybe this is a bit high. I mean, I love this game, but I was kind of bashing the series that it's from in the PS2 video. This is Tales of Grace's F. Tales of Grace's was a Wii game in Japan, and this F version, I guess Hatsune Miku copied Tales of, and you can get a Hatsune Miku costume in this game. Ooh, big coincidence, holy shit. And yeah, they just brought it to PS3, added a bit of extra content, upped the graphics obviously, and I talked about how my love for Tales has kind of like went down a bit, and I even put Tales of the Abyss down on my list of PS2 games. I think that's more, but even though I like Tales of the Abyss more than this game, I think that's more to the point, I think that says more about my love for the PS2 versus the PS3, because PS2 is my second favourite console. PS3 is definitely in the top 10, maybe not the top 5, but still a great system, but this and Tales of the Abyss are the two Tales of games that really stick out to me as being my own personal favourites. I enjoy a lot of them, but I don't think any of them are... I was into any of them more than I was Tales of the Abyss and this one. And that really is all there is to say about it, you know. It all comes down to, with Tales, I think it all comes down to, like, how attached you get to the main characters, you know, because, you know, every Tales of game has, like, this ragtag anime placeholder characters, you know, but even if they are like that, it's how well they get, like, done and how much you want to, like, stick around for the ride, at least in my opinion. And that was done the best in Graces and in Abyss. So, yeah, quite high in all honesty. I probably should have put this a bit lower, but whatever. I'm already making the video. So, Tales of Graces F. Number... What number is that? I think it's number 7. Yes. Okay. Now, number 6. This is definitely probably not a game that should be on the top PS2 games list, but it's my video, so fuck it. Portal 2. Portal is my favourite thing Valve does, okay? Valve doesn't really make games anymore, sadly, but they made the Portal games, and they were fucking excellent. Like, the Orange Box, for example, is probably one of my favourite 360 games, and even though I know that game is technically on PS3, it's apparently nowhere near as good, and yeah, it's like, but it was where I was introduced to Portal, so I experienced it on 360, so it's definitely there, and this is where I experienced Portal 2 for the first time. And I think, don't I, yeah, I still have the Steam key card here. There's the number right there. I'm sure I redeemed it back in like 2000, whenever the fuck. But that's that. And I think it was like the first game I got on Steam, because at the time I didn't have a gaming PC, but I just like downloaded Steam and put this in here and kind of left it until I did get a gaming PC. And, you know, played it on there and realised, oh fuck, PC gaming is where it's at, you know, at least for games like this. But it really was on the PS3 where I played it first and foremost and adored it, you know. I adored the co-op as well. I played the co-op on this console. Yeah, who did I play co-op with, actually? I can't even remember. It was one of my it was a friend of mine at the time, but whatever. There was actually DLC released for this with new content, and I never played it, actually. I don't know if I have anybody who will play it with me anymore, but whatever. It's still... It's fucking Portal, okay? Portal's excellent, right? Anybody who tries to tell you otherwise is wrong, okay? Best thing Valve has ever done, as far as I'm concerned. That's my 6th favourite PlayStation 2 game. PlayStation 3. Fuck! Okay, now we're at the top 5. Okay. Yet another rather controversial pick. This is one of these games that gets a lot of like slack as time goes on, and it's always one of those things that whenever I hear somebody talk about it in a negative way, I'm always just like, aye, because I know what they're going to say. Everybody's like makes the same complaint about it. I might as well bring it up here. Metal Gear Solid 4, fucking amazing game. The long cutscenes don't bother me, okay? It's still got that Metal Gear feel. You still, like, stealth about and shit. Sure, some of the later chapters are more gun-heavy, but it was like that in all the Metal Gear games, okay? It's fucking Metal Gear, and it's so much better than Metal Gear Solid 5. I've still not played Metal Gear Solid 5 properly. I don't really want to, but I'll play this any day of the week over Metal Gear Solid 5. I really wish this was, again, they would, like, re-release this in some way, because I think it's honestly due. But, yeah, why do people like to rag on this game? It's really good, okay? It's just not really my favourite Metal Gear game, I will give you that. But I love all the 4 of them, like, so much anyway, that to say, like, I think my least favourite of the 4 is actually 3. And the fact that I can say that sentence, Metal Gear Solid 3 is my least favourite anything, is so stupid, because it's Metal Gear Solid 3. It's fucking amazing, you know? So, yeah, like, Metal Gear Solid 4. I like this game, goddammit. Let's not get too emotional. We still got 4 more games to go through. That game's amazing. Anyway, okay. Next up we have now this right here, okay. There's a long story with this one, and it's a story I'm sure I've told already, so I'll try to be brief, but this is seriously a massively important game to me. Not just like in the PS3, but it kind of almost, this is going to sound so weird, but it kind of opened my eyes to a realm of video games that I kind of like blocked off up until that point. This sounds so weird, but Valkyria Chronicles. Now, the thing about Valkyria Chronicles is, and again I'll be brief, I bought it shortly after launch because Vice and Ica from Skies of Arcadia were in it, but found that I couldn't really get into the gameplay because, for whatever reason, for the longest time, I couldn't enjoy like strategy RPGs. Not like the sort of real-time strategies you would get on PC, but anything that involved like strategy, I just couldn't get into it. And it annoyed me, and it didn't annoy me in the sense that, you know how some people say, oh yeah, I wish I could get into that game, but I can't. And it was like, they say that, but they know where their interests lie, but I was always actively trying to beat strategy RPGs. I was always trying to get to the end of a Fire Emblem game. I was always trying to get to the end of this, and I would always stop. I just couldn't do it. And then it was like, probably about like 3 years ago or something, I basically said to myself, I am going to beat a strategy RPG. And I beat Fire Emblem Awakening on the easiest setting with permadeath turned off. A fucking 3-year-old can beat the game when it's like that, okay? It's easy as piss. And I got to the end and I was like, I felt very unfulfilled, pretty much, you know, because on one hand I was like, oh, I finally beat a strategy RPG, but on the other hand I was like, it doesn't really cure me though, does it? So after I beat that, I thought, okay, I forced myself through this, I'm going to force myself through Valkyria Chronicles, because as a Sega fanboy, this was a game that I just had to fucking play. The fact that I was calling myself a Sega fanboy, and folk would be like, oh yeah, Valkyria Chronicles, I would also have to be like, yeah, Valkyria Chronicles, brilliant, and I'd never played it. It was so bad, honestly. But I didn't have to force myself through the whole game. I only had to force myself through the first few chapters, because I got into this game so intensely, and everything that everybody would tell me over the years about its wonderful story, its addicting as fuck gameplay, and everything else that's good about it, I found it was completely true. And it honestly brought a tear to my eye, because it's like I missed out on this for nearly 10 years. It's been out since 2008. And since then, Sega's been fucking it up. Valkyria Revolution was a bit of a stinker. Okay, you re-released the game on Steam, and then later on you re-released it again on PS4, and you keep ignoring the PSP games, okay? Port the PSP games to, like, Steam or PS4, Sega. That's what we want. We don't want another, like, half-arsed sequel. We don't want another port of the first game. Those two games are what people want to try out, okay? Just every Valkyria Chronicles fan complains about this, and I'm sure many people watching this video will agree with me, but yeah, 2 and 3. That's where it's at, Sega. Fucking get on it. I actually haven't even played Valkyria Chronicles 2 yet. I kind of don't want to, on principle. It's a weird way of thinking, I know, but I kind of don't want to until I know for a fact 3 gets announced. If 3 gets announced for English anything, I will play through Valkyria Chronicles 2 right away, then go on to 3. That's just how I'm kind of feeling about it, but whatever. Okay, so now we're on to the top 3. Here we fucking go. Number 3 is... yeah, Sonic Generations. Okay, talking about this, I'm not long after, I'm still in the sort of like post-Sonic Forces like realm right here. And I'll probably do a video on Forces at some point. Spoiler alert, I wasn't that impressed. But I feel like it was one of those cases where the existence of this game really made Forces worse. People would say... I remember like people always saying that about like Sonic 4, you know, about how the existence of the classic games and such made that game worse, but I didn't really like see that at the time. I actually like Sonic 4. I think it's alright on its own, but I do feel that way about Generations and Forces. You know, it's pretty crazy how my perspective of this franchise goes, you know. I mean, Sonic is probably like one of the, if not the only franchise that I am so constantly like on top of and observing that I will make these like sort of observations all the time. But yeah, this game, it's really fucking good, okay? And I feel like it's almost like a cliche at this point. Okay. I'm not going to get into the whole... I was about to go on a wee tangent about Forces there, but I'll save that for the video. It's all about this right here. This is probably... I'm so tempted to say it's my favourite 3D Sonic game, but I think that honour still goes to the first Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, but I feel like it gets like further and further to that point every time, because I was just like, I went to go play it like the other day there, after Sonic Forces, and was still like amazed at what they pull off in this game. The best 3D Sonic gameplay ever, quite frankly. Really good 2D gameplay, and yeah, it's just an absolute big love letter to any fan of the franchise. So, yeah, the PC version is the one that I'll play all the time from now on, but this is where I experienced it initially, and as shown right here in every one of my videos, I have that amazingly kick-ass European Special Edition, which I'm very happy to own. So, yeah, Sonic Generations, best 3D Sonic game and best Sonic game on the PS3 for sure. So, yeah. Okay, and number 2 is Ratchet and Clank Crack in Time. You were all probably expecting this to be number 1, weren't you? Well, it's not number 1 this time, but not because it's a lot weaker than the PS2 games, but there's just another game that we're about to talk about. A lot of you can probably guess that I just like a lot more. But yeah, Insomniac continuing the Ratchet and Clank series was really special for me, you know, and it was definitely the reason I bought a PS3. As soon as Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction was announced, that was the point where it's like, okay, I need a PS3, and I got some money together doing whatever, and I eventually got one. Before the game even came out, it didn't matter to me because I was just like, no, I need to have this system because I want to play Tools of Destruction immediately once it comes out. And Tools of Destruction is brilliant. I love that game. But then this kit comes out 2 years later with Quest for Booty in the middle, which is also good for what it was. It was just like a little DLC of Tools of Destruction, really, but it was good. But this, I feel like, was the better game. I loved like the sort of climax of the series in this game, and it actually did something for me that no game series has done since. This game, to me, actually ended so perfectly. I enjoyed the ending so much that deep down, I honestly didn't care about any other Ratchet and Clank games. It ended it so well. Whenever a Ratchet and Clank game came out and it was like a disappointment, which did fucking happen, All for One, remember that shit? I was just like, you know, I probably did react badly at the time because I was doing YouTube and stuff, and obviously everybody wanted to know, what do you think of this, Duck? And I would be like, yeah, it's shite. But honestly, I probably would have felt a lot more shite about it had this game not ended as well as it is. And on top of that, it is just like a well-rounded Ratchet game, as the 3 on the PS2 and the 3 on the PS3 are, you know? The only real flaw about it is that I feel like it's just a little too short, okay? I feel like there's like a whole other nebula to the game. You know how the game had like these nebulas that would interconnect certain planets? I feel like if it had one more of those, it would be probably number 1 on this list, honestly, and my favourite Ratchet game of all time. But because it's just that tiny bit too short, I bump it down to my second favourite Ratchet game and my second favourite game on the PS3. So, sorry Ratchet, them's the breaks, but obviously still love it a lot. And number 1, you all saw this coming. I suppose the only question is, but what one is it? And it's this one. Yakuza 4. Fucking obvious, isn't it? Yeah, this is my favourite Yakuza game and my favourite PS3 game of all time, okay? You know, there's a lot of Yakuza games on PS3. There's Yakuza 3, Yakuza 5, which was digital only, which is shit, and Dead Souls, and a bunch of the other games, like even Yakuza 0 for the PS4 was out on the PS3 in Japan, you know? They only released the PS4 version over here for probably obvious reasons, but yeah, like this one, it was the first game that came out when I decided, okay, I'm super into this franchise, and it lived up on that sort of hype so much. And I actually remember watching this game so much because it was already out in Japan, obviously, and the whole game was there, and I did a good job of not spoiling myself, but I was like watching like fighting gameplay, karaoke gameplay, you know, like all the other shit, and my anticipation was always building and building and building up until the game actually came out, and I was just so thrilled to eventually play it and fell in fucking love with it, okay? To be honest, the 3 main games in the series that are on the PS3, in my opinion, are the best ones. I think 3 is like just underneath that, and just underneath that is Yakuza 5, okay? They're the ones that like really shape the franchise for me and just contain the moments that I love the most. This one just slightly more than the others. There's no like big significant reason why this is the best Yakuza game for me, it just is. I guess it's one of those cases again where you can say the Yakuza series in general is number 1. And I'm super happy that it's still going to this day. Cannot wait for Yakuza 6. I need that game. And yeah. Yakuza 4. I love it. I love it. Okay, it's not going to fit in there, but that's that, guys. I don't know how quickly I'll do another one of these, or what console it'll be, for that matter. I have no idea how long I've been standing here talking, but my feet are starting to hurt from standing here so much, and my voice is starting to go, so I'm just going to end this video now. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.